written by Lord Jigten Sumgun and somebody, the Kambushirap, has maybe translated this. So I'll read this. We can't go through all the details, but we go through some basic necessary things. No. This is, I said, us paying to all the homage here. So I respectfully pay homage to the body, speech, and mind of the Lord of Dharma, the refuge and the protector of beings of the past, present, and future. Crown, ornament, and the lamp of the wall and guards are the lamp of the wall, including guards, maybe better. The precious master, famed throughout space. So this is the Jidusum's teacher, Pamutuba, who was the disciple of Gampopa. Okay. I will explain the 4 Dharmas, which are the instructions of Jo Atisha and quintessence of the mind of Tapo Rinpoche. So originally, these are taught by Atisha, as I mentioned before. Atisha taught so much details on these teachings, and Gampopa put together in the 4 lines. So Tapo Rinpoche means Gampopa. Tapo is the name of the place, as mentioned, you know. In southern Tibet, Tapo is a region. And in that region, there's a special place, mountain is called Gampo. So Gampopa, Gampo. So because of the region Tapo, there's a Tapo Kaju. Gampopa lineage come from, from that place, Tapo Kaju. And he himself resided in that mountain, Gampo mountain, very next to the famous river which comes from Mount Kailash, go through that. In India, when you come, its name is called Brahmaputra. In Tibet, I'm sure maybe some of you know, Tsangpo River. It goes through that valley, very famous. So Gampopa resided in that area, that mountain, so Gampo. So Gampopa is the person who reside there. So this is some history. As I mentioned during this Guru Yoga's teaching, he gathered thousands of disciples, and they are so gifted in their understanding the teachings, and then especially meditation practice. So meditation practice is not just making the theory. So this is Buddhist theory, this is a Buddhist philosophy, this is the Buddhist something like a system, something like a Buddhist culture, Buddhist religion, Buddhist tenets. There's a lot of scholars that establish this. But when you practice, important is that, see, important is that it makes the fresh, alive, the Dharma teachings, not as a religion, rather how it helps to your mind to relieve from the pain that we have. So it is like a medicine. When you have some problems physically, some big issue, and you go to the doctor, and you say, express the doctor, I have this problem. And the wise doctor examines and understood. So you have this problem, And then the doctor says, if you don't take care, it's not so good. So to take care, you take this kind of medication. Do these things. You should not drink alcohol anymore, or not good for you. And that person may be very used to be drinking alcohol. But the doctor said, your life is not so good, so don't drink alcohol. He will try everything not to drink the alcohol. Because the doctor said, no. All people around will also remind, do you remember what doctor said? Same thing, Buddha. We all go through all the suffering, So if you don't want suffering, do these things. That's what Buddha's teaching is about. He didn't teach as a mission, as a religion. It's the welfare of the individuals, whole society. Because, see, our mind, we have, first of all, ignorance, not understanding what's right, what's wrong. We just follow whatever you're taught in your life. Sometimes very stupid things you're taught, and you just follow. You don't know. You take it as like a culture, or just something we used to do it. And then, so not understanding. And then there's such called, as I mentioned, ego, self. Self-understanding, you see, based on your wisdom. There's self-cherishing and self-serving. So I serve myself. I serve for all sentient beings, you see. So that's based on wisdom. But self-cherishing is the cause of suffering. It's like me, I sacrifice others for my benefit. I tortured for my benefit. It's cause of suffering. There's some, like say, dictators there, they use their power in the wrong way, to misuse, then others suffer from that. And for your gain. So that's called ignorance. This is me and this is my. So there's two. Me, my. I, my. So that becomes the cause of suffering. We all have those things. Educated, uneducated, doesn't matter, anywhere you go, everywhere is a samsaric culture. It's this universal culture. You go to a very remote area, and they will use the same thing, me and my, So we use those for our own gain, and then torture the others. And then we suffer from that, see. And then instead say, I serve for others. I want to be service for others. This is self, this is ego. But that ego is based on wisdom. So you see, it depends. Ego itself is nothing. It's neither good nor bad. It's just label. But depends how it use, how we use it, So like say, like as I mentioned, when you have the loving kindness, and develop the loving kindness, May all sentient beings have happiness and causes of happiness. You wish that, you develop that, so your I, wishing that for others. It becomes the healing. It heals yourself and heals others. Which is based on wisdom. And then, may I attain Buddhahood for the benefit of all sentient beings. It's based on wisdom. It becomes the source of peace, happiness, courage. So we need this in the world, especially when the world is becoming smaller, more integrated, more coming together, like I said, we just had the meeting, the world leaders meeting, So they all express I, you, it's a lot of competitions, and that brings more nervous, more suffering. So it brings more fear. Instead, we should help each other. We should solve the problems, this and this, And if we do that, more harmony, more peace, they respect each other more. So it's very obvious. It's natural. So in the society, like in the family, if the family has like say 5 kids, and the father and mother, they protect their kids, send to school, educate them well, and then under the really care, love, and compassion, the family is much better health, physically, mentally, for peaceful. But instead, the father and mother, they quarrel so much and they abuse their children. And then the children are so kind of psychologically damaged and physically damaged, You see, it's just very precise, clear. So this is what we're talking about. That's the Buddha's teaching. Message. The real Buddha's teaching. Now the next, level, visualization, deity yogas, chanting mantras, this some individuals' business, not for collective business. So chanting mantra is also depends. If you chant mantra with the wrong purpose, that becomes cause of suffering. You chant to, as here is mentioning, you chant to develop your power. You chant mantras, say, I want to be successful in my business, so please help me. I'm chanting your mantra, You're calling the deity, whatever you're calling the deity. I'm chanting your mantra, say deity. I want to become famous. I want to become famous, or I want to become powerful. Or you should help me to become successful in my business, As we're misusing, see. So it's not the Dharma teaching. So here, Dharma is phenomenon. Okay? Dharma has many different meaning. There are about 10 different meanings, Dharma, generally, Dharma means all phenomena, all the objects of the knowledge, both samsara and nirvana, is called Dharma. And Dharma is the path towards enlightenment. Then religion, Dharma. Dharma is also, in some ways, virtue. It's a virtue. So Dharma has so many meaning. So here, Dharma here means basically virtue. But your practice, whether we're practicing is doing in the right way or wrong way. So here Gampopa is explaining so precisely. So we as a now who has a strong devotion to Dharma, Buddha Dharma, then we need to cultivate the mind, not just for this life. This life, with the Dharma, without Dharma, you'll survive. But we have, later will come, we have the precious human life. Means you got this human life, it's like all the rest of the human beings. Then within that, you are interested to study, practice the Dharma. It's very precious. That kind of opportunity you cannot buy from others. There's no one can sell you, or you can buy that opportunity. You have to earn by yourself. So it's called precious human life. Becomes a foundation. This human life becomes a foundation, and this human life becomes a bridge to cross the samsara. Okay, to cross the samsara and go beyond the samsara for enlightenment. So precious. Then say, so that's what Gampopa said now here. Gampopa taught, and Lord Gyalteshen is explaining here. You see, he said, the precious Lama, who's the embodiment of all the Buddhas of the 3 times, that they just asked 3 times, and that time said, of the 84,000 doors of Dharma taught by the complete, perfect Buddha, this 84,000 means we have 84,000 mental afflictions. Okay. Do you believe that? How you can imagine we have 84,000 of mental afflictions? How much things we're thinking about, you see, every day? It's more than that. It is countless, but roughly 84,000 types of mental afflictions. So to take care of these 84,000 mental afflictions, so Buddha taught 84,000 types of teachings, okay, as an antidote, as a remedy. So that, see, what Buddha taught, the great sage. There's nothing that is not included in these 4 dharmas of realization of the precious Lama Gampopa, you see. So these all 84,000 are included into these 4. Nothing is missing. It's comprehensive. Okay. So that's what's called skill, wisdom. Okay. Has such a great wisdom and skill, put all the teachings into very simple, not make it so complicated, so we all can understand. See, that is the 4 dharmas are Dharma becoming Dharma, you see. Sometimes we say mind following the Dharma, the mind following the Dharma, or the Dharma becoming the Dharma. First. Second, Dharma becoming the path. Okay. Very beautiful steps, you see. The third, the path, dispelling delusions. Delusions to know, if there's any delusions towards enlightenment, you have to dispel all the delusions. And the fourth, delusion arising as wisdom. That means you have to understand the samsara, the nature of the samsara itself is nothing but nirvana. So that time, you yourself, right now, we are called I'm a samsaric beings. So when you realize this, you are very being samsaric state, now you become Buddha. So Buddha, you don't find out somewhere else. Going to Gyalteshen, Pure Land, or some places, some corner, there's some, so this is a very holy place. No, you don't have to go anywhere. Your place where you are is the Buddha field. You are the Buddha. Okay? But that's what I mentioned this morning. The mind is very complex. The mind is very profound. And we need such nerve. Do you use this word aptitude? Also, what's that mean? Aptitude means?
Having the skill.
Huh?
Having the skill.
Having wisdom, skill. So we should have an aptitude, profound aptitude to follow the path. See? And this is, we should understand. Sometimes people think Dharma practice is so difficult. You feel like it's suffering, because they say, don't do this, don't do this, do this. No, I cannot handle these things, But actually, it's so joyous path. It gives you how do you become better person, better human being in everywhere. It doesn't contradict others' belief. Rather, it supports. As many of you know, that's called 10 virtues, 10 non-virtues, keeping the 5 precepts. So some people think keeping 5 precepts is like a prison, So no, I don't want to keep the 5 precepts. It's very hard. But actually, when you keep the 5 precepts, you are a genuine human being. All the people will trust you. Source of peace. So Dharma study, Dharma practice is such a joyful way, making yourself precious, pure. See? So this is what just to know where you should understand. Sometimes, there's some, mind, because of some connections, relation with your family, friends, and then the relationship goes so bad, it traumatizes. And then you just cry, and what should I do? Sometimes feel like suicidal, in such condition. Dharma teaching says, first you start, you say, take a deep breath, and you practice forgive. Say, just practice forgive. The other person is suffering as well, not so only you. And then you just know, you have no other choice. And take a deep breath. And then I say, okay, thank you. I will forgive, And then you just start the practice of loving kindness, compassion. Okay. Then that time, it heals your heart. It heals your mind. And you feel light or lighter, how precious that is, even just to know. And then go further, and then you feel just, you feel so open. You're ready to smile to everybody. That's the Dharma teaching. Then you see develop fathers, deeper, go more, That's what's called Dharma. Dharma becoming the Dharma. Okay, first. So we're not misusing the Dharma. We're not misusing the Dharma. Rather, we're applying the Dharma for the purification of our delusion, our mind. Even just this moment. Yeah. And once you have this Dharma becoming part, then your path to cross the, this samsaric state. First of all, it's very difficult to believe next life. We don't know. So next life, I don't know. So we all focus only this life. Even nowadays, I should say, even Buddhist country, all those Buddhist business people, they only focus on this life. How to become successful in the business, how to become famous in this life, how to become powerful in this life. Many people, I think, the business-oriented country, So all the focus, we use Dharma for this life, to become wealthy, famous, powerful. Very few think for next life. When you're getting all the things, then say, I want to be reborn in Pure Land, Gyalteshen, Amitabha Gyalteshen, I like to reborn there. That much they say. So you see, those other countries who don't know about the next life they don't know. But those Buddhist countries, so next life, this life, previous life, is not a Buddhist belief. It's not a Buddhist culture. It's the matter of our understanding. Life goes. Life goes, life after life, life after life. When we don't remember, that doesn't mean there's no. Then we all should say, I don't believe birth because I don't remember my birth. I don't know if I was born, because I don't remember. See, I think only few maybe, but most, including myself, I don't remember how I was born. In the first year, I don't remember, And then I went to college, studied a lot of things. Now I forgot most of them. You see? So when you don't remember, doesn't mean that does not exist. See? So there's previous life, life after life, life before life, life before life, life before life. There's no beginning. Sometimes you say, no beginning, what that mean? So we have to look at the space. You just ask when the space began. Nobody knows, isn't it? Space began. So the space has no beginning. And there's no end of the space. Likewise, our life, there's no beginning, there's no end. So they're saying, which is the first, chicken or egg? So, which first, or whether it was an egg. Without chicken, how come egg? How egg can come? Without egg, how there's chicken? So this, which is the first? Nobody can say. That shows no beginning. So these things there, it's not a Buddhist culture or belief. It's something that Buddha told, beginningless beginning, beginningless beginnings, all this, limitless aeons, limitless kalpas. So they mention there's no beginning, So there's this morning is mentioned, we have come from beginningless time up until now here. So what we went wrong, still we're in the samsara. And we all have the Buddha nature, the seed of enlightenment within us. Like say, the butter is in the milk. We don't call the milk is the butter, isn't it? Milk is a milk. We don't call that as a butter. When the milk is produced from the butter, we don't call it milk, we just say butter. See, without the milk, there's no butter. See. So we don't use the milk as the butter. We use milk as the milk, not as a butter. We don't use butter as a butter, not as a milk. But the milk, the butter, the butter is in the milk 100%. But without producing the butter still is milk. See, look at this, So we, in our mind, we have the seed of enlightenment. But right now, we are not the Buddha, but we have the Buddha nature. So that's the potential. Without first of all, without the butter in the milk, no matter what your time, you cannot get butter because there's no butter in the milk. So without the seed of the enlightenment within us, no matter how much we try, we cannot become Buddha. It's useless making effort. See? So since many practitioners, they became Buddha through study, practice Dharma teachings. So we also have a hope. We can do it. And then when you do it, when you practice it, you can see how much benefit you get. So you see, basically, just as I mentioned, when you know, just right now, when you practice the loving kindness, how much you get the benefit. It helps to ease your mind. So then, when this mind is so anxiety, lot of fears there, and as soon as you bring the loving kindness within you, and it helps to ease. It helps bring the mind peace, less fear. See. But the problem is we forget. We forget and we continue the negative habit. And we again go through suffering. if we improve the benefit we got, build it, make it stronger, then you see will be much better. So like the butter producing from the milk. So we have the potential. We have all the opportunities. So Dharma teaching, the Buddha's wisdom, is designed for that. When Buddha sees all sentient beings, that everyone is imbued with the Buddha nature. Everyone is imbued with the Buddha nature. At the same time, they're so suffering. Because just this person asks, what's knowing, what is the three times? It's mentioned, the knower of the three times. So Buddha is the knower of the three times, knows everything. So Buddha has such a great, it's called compassion, called unbearable compassion. Really, somehow something like that, desperate. The suffering is immense. They are. At the same time, they're Buddha nature. So it's a why? So Buddha taught this all the wisdoms. You don't have to suffer this way. You must do something yourself. I will teach you. You should do this. So like say, there's a butter in the milk. You can produce the butter from the milk. Buddha can't give you butter out of nowhere, Without milk, say, this is the butter for you. But Buddha shows the butter is the milk. And you can produce this way. Same way. So within the causality sphere, causality dimension, so Buddha said, this is the enlightenment for you. There's no way you can do that. But Buddha shows the path towards enlightenment. You can do it. But you follow these things, I will teach you step by step. Follow that. So as I mentioned, Buddha has such a great, unbearable compassion. Just example of this, a very poor family, even doesn't have to survive today, such a poor, but they are staying on the ground. Underneath the ground, there's a treasure. No treasure, mind. Oh, the treasure under the ground. But that family doesn't know. They don't know they're staying in such a place. But they say, we are the poorest of the poor. Even we don't have food to eat today, And there's such a great, compassionate miner who knows the mind, comes there and understood under the ground, there's such an endless treasure. And then this treasure shows to that poor family, you don't have to be so poor. You dig the ground. Just make effort, enough. You should dig. And then the poor family, under that miner's instruction, and dig the ground, and found the treasure. As soon as they found the treasure, they become so rich. that moment, they are no longer poor. Now for the rest of their life, they have everything. So like that, in the samsara, we feel so poor. I'm so concerned. I'm suffering from here, I'm suffering from there, I'm suffering from this. What should I do? Life has no meaning, everybody takes advantage of me now. I'm suffering helplessly. So then, say you look inside your mind. You have the Buddha nature, and you found the wealth of loving kindness, wealth of the compassion, wealth of the bodhicitta. You practice those. Materially, maybe you're poor, but mentally you feel so rich. No, I don't need anything. I'm just well off. I'm fearless. So you feel such, that's what Dharma is called. The Dharma becoming the Dharma, and Dharma becoming the path. Yeah. And then the path, dispelling the delusions, and you understand what delusions are about. You know how to handle, how to transform. That's, and then this delusion rising as the wisdom. Then delusion itself is nothing but wisdom. Make sense? So first we get that, okay? So we should all first build what a precious this teaching is about. The Gampopa, how much wisdom he has, skill he has to compile all those teachings, such in a simple way. Yeah. And they say here, the Lord of Dharma, Pamudruba, is the root teacher of Jigten Sumgun, said, if one wonders what it means for Dharma not become Dharma, so it means striving solely for this life. Was just as mentioned, we're only focused in this life. Even Buddhist country, you think if which is, it means striving solely for this life, which in turn means working merely for the 8 holy, Dharma means 8 holy concerns. You think if I practice generosity, good, morality means good, I practice giving these things, I want to be very generous, you're making a contribution to all different organizations and, where there's needed, And then God means you keep the morality, avoid the non-virtue, accumulate the virtue, and then you say, study the Dharma, practice the Dharma, contemplation and meditation. I will gain a lot, means I will gain wealth. I will gain fame. I will gain respect. People respect me. If I give this much generosity, if I practice this, and they will respect me. These things. So that becoming happy with the material gain is a holy Dharma, means only for using for this life. For this, we don't need Dharma. Okay. A lot of people that do business everywhere don't need Dharma. They become rich, they become famous. So if you do this Dharma, it's become, misuse the Dharma. Collecting a lot of donations, become rich and become powerful. That is, you see. I'm sure you have heard of, now here we have many different audience. Some are very familiar. I'm going to business. So you sent some donations to the monastery. Can you say some prayers so that my business become very good? My business becomes successful. So your donation, you're making donation to say the prayers, now prayers for this life's benefit. And then you say, we are collecting this money donation to build this big stupa. And then you build the stupa, then you advertise, we built the stupa. You just look at this, and just to make a fame, repetition. You are collecting the honor, not for enlightenment. You may say the world peace. How much it will bring world peace. So you see, just your mental formation is for this life. See, like this, you see. Then you think if I do not practice generosity, good, morality, and so forth, then I will not gain wealth. You see, this life. Becoming unhappy because of not gaining material wealth is worldly dharma. So this what is saying is gain and lose. Okay. In the also I don't go all this. I don't read all of these things. Just read the last. You see. That's from 8 worldly dharma, 8 worldly concerns. 4 are categorized under desire, under attachment. That means, you see, the first one, becoming happy when gaining material wealth. No, you work hard, you use all the Dharma study, practice, you use prayers here, there, and then you gain. So to gain your wealth for this life is one. And the second, becoming happy when gaining fame and reputation, when you become famous. So this person made such big donation. We have to respect that person, sit in the higher place, sit a Lama who made a big donation in this monastery. We built a throne for him, So this fame, so gain wealth and fame, become famous, is second Dharma, second concerning for this life. The third, becoming happy when things are good, means here good means comfort. You go to such a comfort, benefit, comfort is the third. Fourth is praise. Your people praise you, and then you feel so good about it. You're not thinking for next life. You're not thinking for other sentient beings, but for you, if somebody prays, I worked hard and I got enough praise, so I'm good, So these are the 4 positive that we're working hard to achieve in this life. Not for next life, not for other sentient beings. And then second, of the 8 holy dharmas, four are categorized under aversion. Aversion, dislike, that means you see becoming unhappy when failing to gain material wealth. Only you are making every effort, but you are not gaining any wealth. You are suffering. Okay, no? And the second one, unhappy when gaining bad reputation, means people say bad things about you, even though you work hard. And the third is when the things are bad, means no comfort, discomfort. Your life feels miserable, discomfort. And the fourth is criticism, means blame. Instead of praising, you are blamed. So these are the 8 holy concerns, okay? This is very important just to pay attention about this. With these, we as a Dharma practitioner, just to reflect on this. Even you go to retreat, sometimes you go to 3-year retreat to become famous. You go to retreat and practice those things, chanting mantras, do frustrations, all those things. Then after 3-year retreat, then you advertise. I went to 3-year retreat. Now I can teach. I'm ready to do anything. Yes, you went to retreat for this life, for this life's fame, for this life's gain. Okay? And then if that's not good, not doing well, then you're depressed and you suffer, So for this life. If we don't go to 3-year retreat, doesn't matter. People know or don't know. You are just going to retreat for enlightenment. You just persecute all the mental afflictions, all the negatives you have, ego, So this, like out of ego, you become famous, Then sometimes, you collect donations from different places and go to monastery and you donate, you give things there, you take all the pictures and advertise in the Facebook, all these things. And then people praise you. Oh, that monk, that person, whoever that is, not doing so well, And then you become more famous, and then you want to do more. And that's not the Dharma practice. Dharma practice is to reduce the ego, to purify our mental afflictions, and do good things for others, to develop loving kindness, compassion, bodhicitta. See, the reason because if we dominated by these 8 holy concerns, the suffering remains. We never reduce the suffering, especially the cause of suffering. Because there's a jealous, there's a greed, there's envy, there's anger, there's attachment, So these are the root cause of the samsara, root cause of the suffering. So we all in our mind, you see, it's very delicate situation. Our Dharma practice, you see, always focus inside the mind. How to reduce these mental afflictions. This means we should understand this life will go. Whether successful, not successful, whether famous, not famous, whether rich or not rich, this life will go on. But that is not the end of this life. That is Father. So we work hard today, not just for today. We work hard for tomorrow, isn't it? We work hard in this year. So I will work hard this year for my next year. So like this, I will spend this life and work hard for next life. This life, I'm much better off. I have human life. I'm in a good place. Now at least I can sustain my life. But next life, I have to make effort. So this is the idea. See, we just expand. But we need a good teacher, first of all. The teacher is very important. Teacher who studied these teachings and has experienced, practiced the bodhicittas, and then ready to share with others how to follow the practice, step by step. If the teacher is confused, students are confused. So teachers is very important model for the Dharma study practice. Otherwise, there are some really good students, but the teacher spoils them, destroys their life. So as well, like in the world, anywhere you go, the school, college, we have to have good teachers, isn't it? Teacher is very important. Just in regulars, no. In the world, in a regular school, we need a good teacher. When the teacher is good, that can produce good students. The famous universities in England, in US, you see, in other places, the university become famous because the lecturer. When the lecturer has a good education, that university become very famous. Not because of the building, but the education system. No. Same thing in the Buddhist. When there's a good teacher, like I mentioned, like teacher like Milarepa, who taught Gampopa how to become a Gampopa. No. So Gampopa has such an ability, no, courage. So because of that, Milarepa knows exactly where Gampopa is. So even when Gampopa saw the 1,000 Buddha, Milarepa said, neither good nor bad. But for us, if you see Buddha, we will jump from the window. So Buddha, you know? See, even Saboka Kayas, the Gampopa saw, still never said, not yet, you know. Gampopa has all the potential. So to get the complete potential, so Milarepa just lead to the complete. go. Now, so you go, you do this, you achieve, So Milarepa established Gampopa to the optimal goal. And so the Gampopa became the Gampopa who can build the Buddha's teaching. After Gampopa, the Tabuka lineage became so powerful all over Tibet, to Nepal, to China. Only even just Jigten Sungkun gathered over 1,000 disciples. And many of them achieved Buddhahood. See, that's how the teachers are so important. So it's interdependent. Teacher is important, students are important. Both have the responsibilities. See, not teacher alone, not the student alone. So it's called interdependent, reality nature, how everything functions within the causes and conditions, you see. So that way, so you see, Gampopa here saying, as Buddha also said, this not only this the life. As today is important, tomorrow is more important. As this year is important, next year is more important. As this life is important, your next life will be more important. In the relative state, we need all this. You should take care. See, this is what I should say. Has such a great skill. Meditate, you see. Then what, however, do, how to become the Dharma, how the Dharma becomes the Dharma, see. So don't involve only this life alone. Of course, we need food to eat, we need place to live, Then more important focus for your next life. So look at the precious human life. Now this will come here, See, in brief, the 8 worldly dharmas, 8 worldly concerns are not beyond desire, aversion, ignorance, you see. These 8 worldly concerns are based on these 3 poisons, 3 mental poisons. So the desire, attachment, aversion, hatred, anger, ignorance. So you see, Dharma explains this. Buddha taught this. In reality, everyone has this. Even animals, birds, sea mammals, all has these 3 poisons. Human beings everywhere. When I came in this country in the 80s, there's we call Tibetan Buddhism. There's some people talking, now we need American Buddhism. So people talk about those things, Something, so Buddhism is a culture. So a Tibetan culture should transform into American culture, something like that. But when you see this way, there's no such called Tibetan aversion, Tibetan desire, Tibetan ignorance, and American ignorance, American aversion, American desires, attachment, desire, same. European, South America, Africa, any country we go, everyone is dominated by these three poisons. And therefore, everyone is suffering. Make sense? These are very important. We should understand that. So Dharma is designed, or Buddha taught, as a special remedy to purify this, so that we have less poison in the mind and more peace, happiness. See, this morning I mentioned briefly, the outer conditions to which brings suffering, disasters, occasionally, not every day, like flood, earthquake, seldom happens. But three poison that we have bring this suffering every day in our life. When there's attachment, when there's desire, our mind feels uncomfortable, no peace. We become restless. When there's aversion, there's no peace. And ignorance, we make lots of mistakes. A stupid mistake, screwed up. No? So you see, look at this in our mind, watch. It's the only medicine to heal this. So precious. No one will teach in the world when you go to the colleges, universities, how to reduce these three poisons, how to heal your mind. But they will teach you how to do the business, to develop more greed. How skillfully you have to make your business successful. And politics. Look at lawyers in the world. When the Constitution is written, all the laws are already set up. Why you need really lawyers, Isn't it? It doesn't make sense. But then greater debaters, lawyers, they twist all these constitutions, laws, and they interpret it differently, It's all the mind. Otherwise, you say you drive this way, and you drive, and you reach to the destination. But then sometimes he drove this way because it is twisted, If he made a big mistake, if the lawyer communicates, a lawyer is very smart man, and then the man who made all the mistake, he win the law, So that's, see, how you can twist earthly things. And then there is a suffering, you see. it involves a lot of suffering. So the Buddha's teaching is so precise. So look at the mind. As long as you have these three portions, you act non-virtue, and the result is suffering. In the absence of these three portions, you have peace, and you act based on that is virtue. The result is happiness. So it's such a joyous, this as mentioned, such a joyous path. You follow joyfully, happily, and you communicate, you share this with others. People don't know they have mind and they have these three portions. They don't know. Many people don't know. So if you share these things, oh yeah, I have mind. I think a lot, yes, yes. Then these things happen and it helps so many people. Thus we need the Dharma in the society. Need to share these things to the school, to the college. Not as a religion, but as a peace, harmony in the society. We're making a lot of laws, making a lot of laws. Every day there's more law, every day there's more. The problem is never solved. And becoming more complex, more difficult. See? So Buddha taught complete teachings how to handle these things. So there's a mention, whoever actions are committed with a motivation of 8 holy dharmas are solely non-virtue. In Radnavali, it's a text written by Nagarjuna. So here, Acharya Nagarjuna says, action produced from desire, aversion, and ignorance are non-virtues. Non-virtuous. Action produced from non-desire, non-aversion, non-ignorance are virtuous. The demarcation is very clear. You just look at our own mind. And we have every freedom, every chance to look at this, to purify and follow this path. In a letter to friends, again, Acharya Nagarjuna says, the knower of the world means the Buddha told, gain, lose, just earlier mentioned, reputation, disrepute, happiness, unhappiness, praise, criticism or blame are called 8 worldly dharma, 8 worldly concerns. So I think translation is good, should say 8 worldly concerns. Be indifferent to these 8 worldly concerns so that they are not object of your mind. So here, whether Dharma becomes a Dharma or not depends on one's own intention. See? For example, if the root is medicine, then the stock, the trunk, the branches, the leaves, and their fruits, the flowers, fruits are all medicine. If the root is poison, then the stalks, branches, leaves, and their fruits all poisons. Whatever actions are undertaken through body, speech, and mind with the motivation of the bodhicitta are virtuous action, because bodhicitta is the virtuous in the beginning, the virtuous in the beginning, middle, and end. Also, Buddha said. Also, Buddha said, because it is virtuous in the beginning, in the middle, and at the end, it has been taught by the past Buddhas. The future Buddhas also will teach it, and the present Buddha teaches it again and again. See? So all the Buddhas of the past, present, future has same message. There's no different message. So these are the teachings. All the Buddha's message is, purify your three poisons and engage your virtuous thought, the absence of the non-attachment, non-aversion, non-ignorance. It's the same message that all the Buddhas will give. If you see today, you see Buddha will teach same thing. Okay. So look at these, meditate. Now next we have what we have this year, you see, how to overcome this. So therefore the Dharma does not become Dharma when striving only for this life, engaging solely in the eight worldly concerns. Therefore, as an antidote to that, we should contemplate that in impermanence. This looks so unpleasant. How should I contemplate death and impermanence? I don't like to hear that, I'm not ready yet. Why I should contemplate no death? Yeah. We will not remain long in this world. We have to die we have to die. Death is certain, and the death is irreversible. We will die soon, die and not remain. The time of death is not fixed. We can have no confidence that we will not die today, and there's no certainty that we will not die tomorrow. Guide to the Bodhisattva's way of life, Ajahn Shantideva says, who knows who will die tomorrow? We should have accordingly today. We should live accordingly today. The great army of the Lord of Death is not our best friend. So I ate it, not best friend. This looks little kind of threatening. So threatening, So basically, what is he is saying is, we should just don't all the time attach to this life. We just contemplate. We should think a little more, as I earlier mentioned, tomorrow, next year, next life. Be kind to yourself. Basically say, be kind to yourself. So be kind to yourself. Says, I think there are some people talking about this. Be kind to yourself. So that means, you see, don't delude yourself. Meaning, don't create such negative karma to yourself. Because if you make such negative karma for yourself, you are alone responsible for that. You are alone, say, go through the suffering. So be kind yourself. Say, be mind free from these three poisons. When you try to take care of these three poisons, reduce them, you will get benefit that moment. And your life will be much longer. And there will be less different types of sickness. That's definite, So like, at the time of Buddha said, don't drink alcohol. Still now, they're saying, those who have a higher hypertension, so don't consume alcohol. They're saying that, isn't it? So you see, it's not good for the mind, it's not good for your health. But everybody's so attracted to that alcohol consumption. So there's a lot of bars. And people go there and drink so much and they suffer. And Buddha was not making some rules, very strict rule, rigid rule. That happened in his community. Very well-respected monk, highly accomplished in the meditation. One day, so that monk was offered by a very generous sponsor a bowl of alcohol. And then he sipped and he liked it. He was delighted and he drank one whole bowl of the alcohol. And then he was walking on the sunshine, wind blowed, and then he was totally intoxicated. And then he fell down on the ground. And he has no any awareness where he is, what he's doing. His monk robes scattered there on the road. And people are walking back and forth there in the road. They say, oh, there's a monk, on the road. Look at this monk, It's like embarrassing, No awareness what to be done, what not to be done, So Buddha heard of that, that his monk is now on the road, who was highly respected in the monks' community. So then Buddha, that time, where the monk says, let's walk there. I got some information. Let's see there. And walked. And Buddha got there. So then Buddha said, look at this monk, You and I, we all know this monk is highly respected in his meditation. He's in his learning. Now today, look at this. I heard many people told me that they were disgusted. So because of this, from today, I ask you all not to drink, not to consume any alcohol. It's not good for your meditation, not good for your health, So that you see, Buddha told that how things happened at that moment. Not making rules, this, that. When things happened, then so it is not good. So I ask not to do this. And the stealing also, Buddha said, don't, before Buddha didn't say don't steal. But there's some monks, they went in the garden, they steal, tree from the king's garden. And the king was very upset. If it is not monk, I will persecute. So Buddha said, now you see, the king was not happy. Don't steal, anybody, don't steal. So like these things. All these things happened. After that happening, then Buddha made this kind of rule for the good, for the individual, and for the society in large. So you see, so that mainly to Buddha said, this is the physical discipline, but mentally you have to purify the mind. Your achievement of arhatship is your mind. That's not something physical thing. Mentally, through the meditation, you have to achieve the arhat. Not just something physically achieved. So this is Buddha taught all those teachings. See, it's not just only for this. So don't attach to this life. Everything is impermanent. Everything is changing. Sometimes you are very successful in the business, and sometimes you're lost. Like nowadays, the good example is a stock, isn't it? Stock market. A lot of people invest in the stock market, and they're lost. Some are feeling so sad, suffering from this. Everything's so impermanent. It's just play. It's basically, you have to think about the death. It's not just thinking death seems a little awful, painful, But you see, what is it? Everything is changing. So impermanence is such a joyful practice. When we are so clinging to something, and if we have the understanding of impermanence, oh, yes, this will change. I should release this. Because while you're clinging with such strong attachment, when something goes wrong with that, then it's so heartbreaking. So before that happens, if you prepared all these things, whatever things happens, yeah, I know, I prepared, I'm okay, I'm good. Otherwise, we complain so much and suffering. Yeah. So we individually have our own opportunity to make the less of our own suffering through these practices. Because the greed has no limit. I think Mahatma Gandhi, he said, the planet, our earth, has enough resource to feed all the people on this planet. But the the earth has no any ability to satisfy one greed person. Very good, isn't it? If that one greed person owns whole this earth, he's not satisfied. Now he will looking for another planet. Because there's no limit. So therefore, Nagarjuna said, the contentment is the best wealth. When you know how to content, you feel so joyful. He said, the contentment is the best wealth. And that is said by the Buddha. Therefore, be content yourself. When you know how to content, you are very rich. When you get like a bowl of soup and you appreciate, I'm so fortunate. I got this today, the bowl of soup. I can live on this. There are so many people who are dying without food. There are so many who are poor. And I'm so fortunate. And your mind is so peaceful. If you're just complaining, oh, the soup is not good, this, there's no problems, you know. And then the soup you got, you're not satisfied at the first place. Then you complain all about. And then you make all the mess, you know, and the suffering there all. See? So contentment is such a precious thing. That's the thing. We need to learn that. You don't have to be so rich, but whatever you have in your life, you appreciate, rejoice. You know? And Milarepa said, you see, all our happiness that we have, joy and happiness we have, is come from others. Means, as just mentioned, you know, we are just as a lunch, say, a plate of vegetables and rice, bread, whatever you have, is contributed by many people. First of all, the farmers. The farmers, they grow this, you know. And then after the farmer grows this, the agent collect all those, brought to the store. In the store, so many people involved there. They're kept fresh. And then you go there, you buy it. And you got the money from somewhere else because you have not printed the money. You know? See? So that all these collections by this, so many people involved on this, and you got the lunch. This is contribution from all other people. Without any other people, how you can survive? Like say you are in the desert place, you get nothing. So you see, this is all the hard work of the people around. So you say, just, I'm so grateful. And these all people who involved there, They want peace and happiness. They want to be free from suffering. For that, they work so hard. No? And we're consuming that. So then Milarewa said, your altruistic thought for others is for your own benefit. So now there you develop loving kindness, compassion. May everybody have all the peace, happiness, and causes of happiness. May all be free from the suffering and causes of suffering. You just meditate on this. Now, all the sentient beings, wherever you are, in that your place, you have total peace, joy. See, we don't have to go anywhere. See, the place where you are, you meditate on this. That's how purely it is produced by Buddha Amitabha. So we meditate on this, you see. So that's the Dharma practice, you see. And we need this teaching nowadays, in this 21st century. All this nowadays mentioned, the flood, earthquake, storm, tornadoes, and hurricanes, all this is the result of our collective karma. It's called dominant result. There's no one to blame outside of us. So we need this awareness all over, all the places. Especially in the school, in the college, in the university, these things. Or this 3%, out of this 3%, then manifest greed. See, risk from out of this, jealous, envy, all the mental afflictions are manifested from these 3%. The 3% are root. So all our Dharma study practices designed to reduce this strength of this 3%, and then slowly minimize, transform. That's what Dharmas of Gampopa is about. Oh, you need a short break? Okay. Om Daja Sato Samaya, Manu Palaya, Badra Sato Tenoba, Tisha Detu Membawa, Sudu Kayu Membawa, Subu Kayu, Anorado Membawa, Sarva Siddhi Meprayaza, Sarva Karma Suzam, Chetan Shriya, Guru Hum Ha, Om Baka, Sarva Tata Gata, Badra Mame Munda, Pansim, Ma Samaya Sato. Okay, please make a break, maybe for about 15 minutes.
Yeah, I can talk, Deb. You wanted me to talk? Hi, David.
We wanted
Hello.
to test for questions. Thanks. That's all. So
Okay. Know how
do
to
you
get,
want to? Oh, go ahead.
I don't know how, I asked Raul how he got the sound. He didn't answer me. I don't know how to.
Oh, it's okay. I'll try it on my end. I've done it before.
Yeah, I'd like to know how those, that if. have to-
Okay, we'll look at that.
Can you hear us? Okay, Marilyn.
No
Just
problem.
checking. Just checking communications. Don't worry. Nice to see you.
See you too.
Say hello to the dog.
It's hi, Luna.
Perfect.
Finally quiet. She's been talking to me all morning.
We would have to. We'd have to go.
Yes.
We can't hear you. I believe that they are still working on the setup at Gardroma. That's why there's no sound. Kenshin does not have his mic on, his head and his muted. So please be patient. I'm sure when he's ready to teach, the sound will come back on.
I'm drinking tea. Excuse me,
Do you have to scroll through the different pages?
squirrel? What's the name?
So,
I opened his
oh, yeah, perfect. Oh, this one. So you can go there.
other.
There.
Oh,
So then you.
yeah, I
can
don't
s-
know these things.
Yeah, so then you can see all your students.
Oh, I just no, it's okay.
Yeah,
It's good to see different people.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, they're throughout.
Thank you.
No.
How everyone is doing?
We are good and anxious for teachings.
That's wonderful. From Chile. Amelia, there's more from Chile. From Singapore. Chenjuru. Pittsburgh. Walter. Everyone is back. Banza Sato Samaya, Manu Palaya, Banza Sato Denopa, Dejan Dedo Membawa, Soto Kayo Memba, Subu Kayo Membawa, Amurato Membawa, Sarwa Sete Me Prayasa, Sarwa Karma Susan, Children Shriya Kuru Hungo, Bhagawana Sarwa Tata Tata, Bantra Mame. Manzimbawa ma samaya sato Badra sato samaya manu padaya Badra sato teno Dijande do me bawa Sodo kayo me bawa Subu kayo me bawa Anura do me Sarva siddhe me prayata Sarva karma sukha me Chetane shri akuru Bhaga Sarva Dadanga Dadrama me Buddha Buddha Ma Samaya Sato Badra Sato Samaya Manu Palaya Badra Sato Teno Dishande dro me bawa, sudu kayo me bawa, suvu kayo me bawa, anurado me bawa. Sarva siddhi me prayata, sarva karma sudha me zeta, shri guru. Ha Bhagavan sarva gata 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 mame mata bhajan. Masamaya sato. I thank you, everybody. Take a deep breath, inhale, and exhale all our stress. So what we are discussing is the wisdom of the Buddha. Okay. Buddha's wisdom is not something, as I mentioned, Buddha has created by Buddha. Buddha's wisdom is the wisdom that captured the reality, nature of all the phenomena, every sentient beings. So you can imagine, you see, at that time, Buddha was about 500 before Jesus came. And Buddha taught the teachings, just northern part of India or Himalaya. No. So how he can communicate that still in the modern 21st century, perfectly is comprehensible, without against of any things that which are the cause of suffering and which are cause peace and happiness. We are having hard time to understand what Buddha said. No? But Buddha's communication is, as mentioned, totally, absolutely communicated the causality of all. That this is the 21st century. Now, as I mentioned, like myself, having a hard time to understand what Buddha said. I have to study, I have to practice, especially I have to practice more, go deeper. Then you see, I can communicate better. Buddha's teaching is not a Buddhism or something Buddha created. Buddha's teaching is not something related to the culture, belief system. Buddha taught, Buddha said, you investigate thoroughly what I said. Don't take it bluntly. If you disagree, he said, that's okay. I don't mind, he said. You can disagree, but you should have such ability of the nerves of the mind that you're sure that your agreement or disagreement is valid. You see? So that's how Buddha has great confidence. Has no fear to say that. You caution it, Buddha said. You ask, like the goldsmith, to examine the gold, first say whether it's gold or not. First you examine that. There are a lot of things are similar to gold. Then, after that, see how the gold, which is better, which is not better. There are some golds are more better than quality-wise, better than others. So you examine thoroughly about the gold. The goldsmith understands about that. So you should also says study, practice, ask questions. And then if you find relevant, then go for it. You practice. So practice is important. So you see, this is a, Buddha said that time is a very small place, over 1,000, 2,000 monks there. But the teachings went slowly from India, went to Myanmar, Burma, Thailand, Sri Lanka, then went to Cambodia, then went to Indonesia and Taiwan. This all area that people can reach. And then on the west went to Kashmir, from Kashmir to Pakistan, Afghanistan, all the way to the northeast, Japan, China, Tibet to Mongolia, effortlessly. Those are great. Like Marpa is mentioned, there are many that work hard to bring the Buddha's teaching. Now, in the West, we are taking so much interest in the Buddha's teaching. So it's so precious. And like in Tibet, how much Buddha's teaching is established. You read the life story of Milarepa. It's unimaginable how he made effort and established himself, attend Buddhahood in one single lifetime. And how from that, how much followers produced. So much. Unprecedented in the history. So that kind of, so here and now I try to communicate. So my skill, my language has a lot of barriers, still I try. to understand the Buddha's teaching. So precious. If you take just one breath in with the love and compassion, how much peace is there that you can bring from any other sources. It's more than millions and billions. So those billionaires may not have that kind of peace and happiness. So this teaching is such precious. We need this sometimes I feel without choice, because that's the way it goes. Mind, the Buddha's teachings about mind. We talk 21st century is very advanced technology, science, isn't it? Where does technology, science come from? The mind. But we forgot the mind. Something is coming from somewhere, some machines, some high sophisticated telescope. Then you just go through the sky, space. So there's a black hole. What else? There's some other dimensions, But space has no limit. Space has no limit. Look at this stars in the sky, countless stars. Oh, this Buddha's wisdom reaches to all this. That's the power of the mind. that we have that same mind that Buddha has. So that's why you see, Buddha has achieved all these qualities. And then you see, free from all the sufferings. And the Buddha sees every sentient being has that potential, as mentioned, like a butter, you know. We all have Buddha's potential. But in the samsara, there's so many suffering. So Buddha cannot accept that. That's mentioned unbearable compassion. And then teachers from that say, please wake up. Please don't sleep in the ignorance. No. So then first you how to appreciate the sentient beings, as I was explaining, you know, the quotation by Milarepa. We have to live within the samsara with the sentient beings, no choice, whether good or not. But what we can do individually, what we can contribute, we contribute sincerely to help others, not take advantage. Sometimes people take advantage and get rid of some others, you know. That's not so wise. We appreciate, rejoice about these things, then develop sincere love and compassion as the healing, not just intellectually, not just saying it like a mantra. We say mantras, other mantras, we say so much, but not so much feeling in the mind. There's not so much feeling. But this is, we have to have some kind of experience, healing. Then that improves, develops. Otherwise, it becomes just intellectual. Then it becomes a tenet. You know, tenets, the lodges, a lot of tenet systems. So then this school, the Vaishaka school believe this, South Africa school believe this, Chitra Mantra believe this, the Madhyamika believe this, then the Prasankika believe this, Madhyamika believe this, you know, all becomes a tenet system, a belief system. That's not the point. The point is this all is progressive, step by step. The first grade, second grade, third grade is not a tenet system, but the students who follow that, they require these all steps. The curriculums in the school we have. So all there are no tenets. They're to progress their education, their understanding. See, so Buddha taught that way, how to step, how to follow paths. Which is everything is set up. No, all the great masters, as there are some who are studying practice for many years, they know, there's called four foundation. No, we know that you first contemplate on the four foundations: precious human life, impermanence, suffering, causality. So causality means the karma. But people think karma is a Buddhist belief, but it's not the Buddhist belief. Causality, everything functions within the causality. Everything constitutes within the framework of the causality. That's why everyone is making effort, working hard to create the cause. But sometimes we make a wrong cause. Then we suffer. Like this, the economic system, and that a lot of people becoming billionaires, millionaires, billionaires, but they don't solve the problem. Otherwise, it should be better, you know. In the 80s, I guess there was no billionaires. there may be few millionaires, you know. Now millionaires is nothing. Billionaires now becomes trillionaires, isn't it? You see, and the world's not getting better. So the outer, these things doesn't make good. We have to make our mind better. Take care of the mind for ourselves first. We say, be kind to yourself, means develop loving kindness, compassion, appreciate, rejoice, you know, and that will make your life much better. In the morning, when you get up in the morning, you know, that time, just say, everybody wants peace and happiness. May all have the happiness and causes happiness. Meditate. So imbue your mind with the loving kindness. There are so many who are suffering. Cultivate compassion. May everyone free from the suffering and causes of the suffering. The causes of suffering is mentioned in 3 poisons. All the negative karmas we created from 3 poisons. Cause we created from that. May free from this, may everyone free from this. You just meditate. Endow your mind with that motivation. You feel much lighter. You can smile with others. When you walk, walk. There are some people jogging, and there are some riding on the bicycles with so kind of face is so feeling sad, and the bicycling, they all this, you smile at them, because awakening, they feel much better. This costs nothing, but it makes the difference in the world. At least a few people. Then they will talk about seeing there's somebody who's walking, smiling, It's just wonderful, It's called contagious, contagious. You see, effortless, contagious, like the wind, goes everywhere. Without stopping, So this is what's called Dharma practice that Buddha taught. That's what's called mindfulness. Now you see mindfulness becoming very popular. See, everywhere. So this is what mindfulness is about. This way, when you have your mind more peaceful, with love, compassion, and especially attitude, wish everyone achieve enlightenment. This. And when your mind is more calm, peaceful, relaxed, our dementia will become less. When the mind is traumatized by this our desire, when our mind is traumatized by our aversion, anger, then we have very little mindfulness. And then the dementia becomes stronger. See, physically aging, then getting dementia is a part of the aging sickness. You forget easily, difficult to remember. Sometimes when you're going to outside walk and the key is in your hand, at the door, you don't know where the key is. You're looking, You forgot the keys in your head, you know. So when you have this, because your mindfulness is not there, and you see you're thinking, overthinking so much, and the suffering is there. When you have clear mind, peaceful mind, you know where the keys in your head. So you see, these very little things will help. It's not a religious estimation, religious training. These all are just requirement that what we need to have less suffering, more peace and happiness. And as I mentioned, when you practice loving kindness, compassion more and more, your health is better. So health of the mind, health of the body is much better. I know there are some Dharma practitioners, very beautiful Dharma practitioners, very simple. It's always good. Sometimes I feel they are better than like me, wearing Dharma robes and talking so much, you know, here. So I feel the beauty of the Dharma, so precious. It's not a religion. It's not a religious training. It's a benefit so much. Taking refuge is one way, it looks like it's a Buddhist training, but another way is training your mind. We're taking refuge in the wisdom, the compassion, Buddha's wisdom. So, cultivating bodhicitta is such a precious thing. So here, Gampopa, you see, first, all what in the world, everyone were making only focus for this life achievement, how to become rich, how to become famous, how to achieve the comfortable life, and how to get the praise. And then the other side for, how to be free from the losing wealth, and this, how to protect from the blame, how to protect from the discomfort, So everyone is focused on this in the war. So everywhere, same thing. Buddhist, no difference. Buddhist, not Buddhist, believer, not believer. Doesn't matter in this, regardless of any religion or without every religion, we all focus for this life. But how much happiness is there? How much suffering is there? Look at this. So we are it's important to try to take care of the karma cause. So that's here, so reflect, imagine impermanence. Yes, you see. About this, letter to friend Acharya Nagarjuna said, there are many hindrances to this life. When it is more transcendent than bubbles blown by the wind, inhaling and exhaling, it's wonder that we have leisure of waking from sleep. There is certainty of the time of death. So basically saying, our life is more fragile than bubble in the water. As mentioned, We have just built all these, the four elements which contradicts each other. We're working so hard to heal that, harmonize the four elements. So Nagarjuna is so amazed. We go to sleep and then next day we have time to get up. Because we just live on the breath. If the breath goes out and doesn't come back, no matter how healthy you are, no matter how young you are. So he said, I'm very amazed, I'm very impressed. In such a fragile conditions where we live, this is, see. So just meditate on this. Reflect. Every moment appreciate. The point is here, see, every moment you have time, reflect on Dharma teachings. Like you see, you're a smart dog. The dog is sometimes very smart. You see, the police, they train the dog, isn't it, to, like say, thief or say drug to know, So they pay a lot of money to the dogs. But you tell your dog, so you have a dog party. You just meditate and be free from samsara. Make effort to enlightenment, The dog has no idea what you're talking about, isn't it? See, we at least have this. No matter how dog is so smart. Sometimes you may say, oh, yeah, that dog knows, I know, a dog knows, My dog is so smart, it knows, what you are talking about. But we're not sure. Because the dog didn't say, yes, I want to achieve enlightenment. See, but we know, So see, every moment is so precious. Make sure you cultivate bodhicitta. Say I want to achieve enlightenment for the benefit of all sentient beings. And that thought is such a precious. Because your mind is connecting to the Buddha's mind. Your Buddha nature is connecting to the Buddha's enlightenment, that which is fully awakened. So see this fragile nature. So that's why Milarepa said, I escaped the mountain by the fear of the death. He said, while I'm in the mountain, I persistently recollect about the impermanence. Every day you reflect on the impermanence and appreciate it, rejoice what he has. And then you look himself, what the weakness is there, purify that. So that way, after many years, he entered the Buddhahood. So he said, I captured the fortress of the enlightenment. Now I'm free from all the fears. The death may come anytime. He says, I'm ready to die today. I have no fear. This Dharma practices, you achieve the fearlessness. When we talk about the death, it's very unpleasant because it brings fear, isn't it? No, please don't talk about the death. I'm not ready yet. Don't talk about this. Put it aside, we say, because it's so unpleasant, and then I'm not ready yet, and then you look at, see how much I have clinging to this, how much clinging I have in this, my possession, I have this, and I'm attached to this, and then the death is very fearful. I'm not ready. So when you realize everything is an illusory nature, no matter how much you have, it doesn't bother you. So that we have to look at, you see, in our mind. See, when you have a lot of possessions, if you're attached to this, you have to prepare. I'm not saying you shouldn't have any possessions, but look at the mind, how your mind is prepared. Buddha said, all the monks should not have any possessions. It's because of this. But then Buddha also said, those monks who are fully released all this mental desire, attachment, he or she can live in such a great palace. There's no attachment, well prepared. So it's all goes to the mind. It's mind training. The mind training, every individual, we all have our own opportunity. You see, as mentioned, it's not a religious belief, but your own. Just you look at this and then say, I'm so fortunate. You see, I have precious human life. Now, rest of my life, I will prepare for this. I appreciate what I have. I'm very content what I have. That's what's called precious human life. You have the precious human life and you have used that. If we don't practice that way, we may have precious human life, but we haven't used it. We waste it. It makes sense? So this is here first. These are the very first beginning to sort out. Then you're well prepared to follow the path. But before this, we all need to sort out, okay? We're not saying everything's bad, okay? But everything depends on the mind. Sometimes you get some kind of says, oh, Buddhists are negative, everything's bad. I don't like that idea, no? So you say, no, Buddha said you will die, Buddha said you'll die, everything is impermanent, and then everything, this, don't attach to this, renounce this. And then later they say everything is illusion, everything is illusory nature, everything is reflection, nothing is real, all these things. Then at the end, everything's empty. Now what do they say, So negative, they say. Some people say that. They misunderstood that. And who communicate is that also have a not so well, kind of say, should say, not well explained, not well communicated. We have to have a communication such how to train your mind, how to make your mind better. Basically, what train means, make a better mind. Now, just in the Shanti, there was text that say, if you say, this is my enemy, I have to get rid of this enemy, this is my enemy, I get rid of this, there will be no end of enemies. If you get rid of one enemy, there will be two enemies. If you get rid of two enemies, there will be four enemies, So it will increase. Instead, we just make friends. Not friend, maybe they will not speak to you, but in your mind, this person deserves all the peace and happiness. this person deserves to free from all the suffering. In your mind, just make that meditation. Relax. All the people, those who know, you know, those who don't know, everyone, have all the peace and happiness. Even though that person irritates me, but because out of the delusion, so you just developed stronger compassion, loving kindness. That person deserves all the peace and happiness. That person deserves to free from suffering. You meditate on this, then everyone becomes your friend. There's no enemy in the war. And at that moment, you have the total peace, happiness that you can make. So you can make yourself. See how precious this is. That is what's called hero. You have such courage. You have such indomitable courage to make all your bitter enemies as your best friend. And appreciating. They irritate me, then you see, that makes me to develop compassion. Instead of I resent, I annihilate my resentment, negative emotions, and replace by the loving kindness and compassion. And then you see this whole world is pure light. It's beautiful, isn't it? See, make that happen. See, this is the very important. We start with that. All this was talking about this. At the end of the day, you see, all the suffering that we are facing is our own, these three poisons. So, our responsibility is to get rid of these three poisons. And as mentioned, replaced by loving kindness, compassion, and bodhicitta. And that to do this, we need Buddha's instruction, We need all the Buddha's instruction this way. But in order to practice, we individually have the only responsibility. So we have to follow the path. And then we get the benefit. Nobody will take away that benefit. We'll never lose that. It will be with us, life after life, life after life, until we achieve the Buddha. So this, what is now said here, verses spoken intentionally, Acharya Arya said, Acharya Arya is Nagarjuna. Some die old, some die young. This is impermanence. Some in the prime life. Some just after birth. No, this is also by, yes, okay. Some even die in the mother's womb. If they all eventually die, if they all eventually die, then who has the confidence that they will stay alive? Furthermore, in the Sutra of the Wise and Foolish, it is said that which is born will die, that which has came come together will apart. That which has been gathered will be spent. That which is rise will fall. So this is the three, there's a four, sorry. There's a four statement here. He said, all that who are born at the end will die. So that you can see. All over the world, you see. No, we don't see anybody who's not dead. That's who are born. Isn't it? Now, there are people who are living 90s, over 100s, no, somewhere, anywhere. The newsmaker, they go around, they ask, how you live that long, 100, no? This one I saw, British BBC, a man who was 111, I think 111, I think. He has very good health. The media said, why you are so healthy now, how long you live? You know, what's the secret? That man said, there's nothing secret. You just be moderate, he said. Don't moderate, don't eat too much, don't eat too little. Yeah. You know. But we wonder, 111, no. But it shows that we all know one day will die, Even you live 100, 200, still we die, So during this time, practice these teachings. Precious Dharma. You appreciate. Make your life meaningful. See. Oh, So there's one, So these are first of all, it's basically, no matter how famous you are, no matter how rich you are, no matter, poor you are, no matter how you are blamed, this, at the time of death, doesn't matter. Saying, but what time, what opportunity you have, you should take advantage. As earlier mentioned, look at all the people in the world. Well, there are some leaders of the country. Their ego is so strong. They want to become famous, making war, fighting. How many people are killing? It's innocent. And some are desperate. Some children have died. So what's the benefit? Have you heard of Genghis Khan? Genghis Khan is a very famous warrior. Oh no, do you know when he came, which century? 14th? 4th? 14th. Somewhere there, yeah. 14th, 15th, he came there, I think. He born in Mongolia. I have read some before, but I saw a short documentary film on the YouTube. Maybe about an hour, I should say. Some years ago. Plus, he was born and grown up. He got a lot of opportunity to build his power, his wisdom. And then he conquered China, Asia, then went to Europe. Part of Europe he conquered, you see. That time there was no aeroplane, just mostly sword, riding on horse and running, here, there. So he became such a powerful, ruthless killer, So at the time of death, he said, there, I'm still not satisfied. He said that and died. You see, there's no satisfaction. See? So if we don't learn how to appreciate our life, what we have, there's no true happiness. So true happiness comes from the mind, from our own mind. We rejoice, respect the older ones, your parents, older people, respect. And those who, the needy, respect, share what we can do. At least in your heart, develop. Maybe you're staying alone by yourself, but you can develop immense loving kindness, compassion to all. That, like Milarepa, who did, you see, Milarepa was in the mountain, just alone. But his loving kindness was so powerful. So one day he was, the weather was so good, pristine, blue, clear. So in the morning he came out, sat on a piece of rock, water, and he gazed whole space, everyone in the world. And whole his mind was dominated by loving kindness. Totally, So where he was meditating on that, reminding himself on that, then he heard a dog barking. And he thought, who could be here? Just such an isolated place. Who can come? Oh. The dog is barking. So soon after that, a deer was running. From each hair dropping the water. First, the deer was running so fast. The hunting dog can catch, so a lot of fear. So because of Milarepa's great loving kindness, especially when he saw the deer, his loving kindness become much stronger. Now look at this deer. How much the deer desire for free from the fear, suffering. But you see, it doesn't allow to have peace. So because of that, the deer just totally directly, without looking any direction, just came forward to Milarepa and said to the next to Milarepa. He felt the peace, total peace from Milarepa, And then Milarepa said, you deer with thorny head, animal body, you have a lot of fear. The dog may catch you. And you have such a great hope to free from this fear. With hope and fear, you wander in the samsara. See, we all do this, you see. Business people, they have hope and fear. Politicians, they have hope and fear. Those generals who go to battle, they have hope and fear, So everyone in the samsara, we have hope and fear. See? So the deer was totally in peace, stayed next to Milarepa. And soon after that, the hunting dog was coming, looking where the deer is, with a long tongue, just running, And then he saw the deer next to Milarepa. At the same time, Milarepa, again, his loving kindness was so strong to the dog. So the dog has such a great fear to lose the deer, has such a great hope to catch the deer. What kind of sentient beings in the world in the samsara. So the dog directly came to Milarepa. Instead of his looking for the deer, he was totally peace, the mind. He was so friendly with the deer. And he bowed down to Milarepa, you see. So Milarepa said, you dog, wolf face, dog body, you have such great fear to lose this deer. And you have great hope to catch the deer. With hope and fear, you're suffering so much. I will give you meditation instruction. So that you see those who have such great loving kindness, compassion, the power. You can illustrate that moment, you see. We at least don't have that much, but we can ease as our own mind. Make our mind more peaceful. That much. We can start from there to love. See how wonderful this teaching is. Everyone has loving kindness. Everyone has compassion. Maybe emotionally, maybe limited. Even birds, you look at how the birds hatching the eggs. How delicately the birds are taking care of the chicken. Out of love, out of compassion. It's inborn. It's the expression of the Buddha nature. Even we have such an adventitious development, but within that, the expression of the Buddha nature expresses this. Insect who knows nothing, but they have love for their kids, for their inborn, how delicately they raise their kids, you see. It's expression of the nature. We wish to have peace and happiness is expression of Buddha nature. So Buddha nature is total peace. Free from all the suffering That's what we desire, to free from suffering. So this is the capital we have. So we just need to take advantage of this, develop this, and then get rid of this adventitious defilement, purify them. That's the method. So that's what here Gampopa is explaining. So since impermanence, we feel that sometimes so everything is impermanent, you will be dead, you will die one day, these things, it's kind of it's like a little bit negative side, We feel that, but we should bring to all what we can do about it, how to develop the mind, reminding us, as you see. So, this I mentioned this four. Those who are born at the end of the birth is death. And then we collect so much, we work so hard, but at the end of our collection would be what you call end, finish, consumption. Like the honeybee collect honey, isn't it? Work so hard, and then somebody draw all the honey, The honey bee has no opportunity to enjoy the honey, Somebody uses it, So like that. And all the relatives, people that we meet in our life, the end of the meeting is separation. One day we'll have to separate. If you stay for many years, 50 years, 60 years, 80 years, then one day we have to separate. So to prepare that time, the suffering there. The end of the construction, you built so much, houses, buildings, railways, aeroplane, cars, all this, all the internets you built, you construct. At the end of the construction, all will be deconstructed. all will fall down, That's very clear, So this is talking about birth, collection, construction, and then the wealth, collection, wealth, and then what else? Said, but that which has been gathered would be expanded, that which is before, that which is built would fall down. Yes. So these are the four you have to look at. It's everywhere. It's not just one country, one place. Like those who have been to India, you see all the remain of the Buddhist seat. Once you see like Nalanda University, or like you see Bodh Gaya, you see Kushinagar. Once they have been so beautiful, like Sharavasti, if you've been there, so hundreds and thousands of monks together, built so beautiful monasteries. Now you just see just ruin. Oh, just nothing but ruins. Indonesia also like that. once Indonesia became very powerful Buddhist country, like 8th, 9th, 10th century, Then after some time, now you go, it's just only some remaining seeds, nothing left. So you can see, we all are. So that you see, there's nothing to attach to. Mainly is saying, don't attach to. Practice was more beneficial. Some people say, if you don't attach, how you can take care? You can take care better without attachment. There's some parents, they say, I'd like to take care of my child because I like my child so much. I have so much attachment to my child, I want my child grow in the best way, I want to that, this, he or she is not behaving well, not going to school, enough studying. I feel so sad, Then I just give advice. Yes, you do your best as a parent, but release attachment. And say, if I don't attach, how can I take care? So you can take care without attachment, much better. You give all the advices, whatever the child needs. If the child accepts your advice, it's good. That's what's for. But if the child doesn't listens your advice, then your attachment will bring more suffering to you. And your relation with child is so bad, not good. And become so distant. Then because our attachment is the mother, go after the child, I want you to do this. And child said, no, and that relation is so bad, and a lot of suffering there. But you take care, whatever you can, give all the good advice, and then it's up to the child. Let grow. And I said, you can do better. The relation will be much better. So after some time, the mother said, your advice was so helpful. It really worked, said. So this is what Buddha is teaching about us. Release the attachment, aversion. Release attachment to your family. Do all the best what you can. Release aversion to your enemy. And you get all the benefit. And you can help others so much. So this is talking about, okay? We need some kind of this kind of communication. Yeah. Oh, then he said, then in prominence. Oh, time is going through impermanence now. You see? Yeah, do you have any questions? We will leave here tomorrow, we can go through. So these are things very important to sort out. Make sense? Are you getting something? Okay. Yes, please. Yeah, you see, through your what you say, karma or whatever, you, as long as you agree, stay together, you support, not attach so much. You just do all things what you can to help, to make the life comfortable, peaceful. And then you just express as a Dharma practitioner. Now we are getting older. We can't live together too long. We more focus on the Dharma study, practice, develop love, compassion, and bodhicitta. We should support each other this way. It's a real good thing to do that. Otherwise, you see, when the first they meet together, they love so much each other, they attach so much each other, so then they say, I will die for you, so oh, I can die for you. So, so there's so much that kind of attachment there. After some time, if it doesn't work well, then say, I will kill you, Say, I will sue you, See, so it's because of that, out of strong attachment, there's such great expectation. And when the expectations are not fulfilled, these things happen. So instead, you see, we're here together, meant to be, and we respect each other, support each other, and we practice Dharma. See?
Kira has a question on Zoom.
Yes. Where's the question now?
Kira, you have to unmute. I've asked you to unmute.
I did. It didn't let me until this moment. Hi, good to see you. It's been a while. My question is, you used to come to LA and you had given me Vajrasattva to do at a certain point. So I'm wondering, sorry, I don't know how to steady my camera. I'll just stop my video. I'm wondering, the thing you stand it on broke. I'm wondering, you had given me Vajrasattva to do, and I did it for 2 years, and it was wonderful. So I guess I'm asking for a prescription, so to speak. What would you recommend for these crazy times as a primary practice? If I'm going to devote myself to one thing.
I think since you are practicing Vajrasattva, so your primary practice, you can focus on the bodhicitta. And the bodhicitta combination with the loving kindness and compassion. So that will help all the way to the Buddhahood.
Thank you, Rinpoche. And here's my other question. I've been practicing renunciation and letting go of attachment. And it's been a profound experience. But also, I contrast our spiritual life with the mundane world, and now I've kind of gone in the other direction where I really don't like to go out in the world. And so how does one kind of balance that?
The balance, what you can do is if you are not socializing so much, I think that's a very good thing. Then what you can do is the time you have, you spend time and the practice of loving kindness, compassion, bodhicitta, reflect on that, and you can practice more Vajrasattva, purify yourself and purify all sentient beings. So you can take advantage of this.
Veronica now has a question.
Okay, Veronica, yes, very nice to see you. I don't hear.
Rinpoche,
Yes, yes. Now.
thank you very much, Rinpoche, for the wonderful teachings.
Okay.
I wanted to ask Rinpoche, what is the meaning of the middle way? Because I always heard, no, this we have to act according to the middle way. So that's I wanted to ask you, Rinpoche. Thank you.
Yeah, okay. Middle way, there's a lot of explanations. Life in the middle way, generally life in the middle way is, as we have some discussions before, we have, whatever you have, first you appreciate, okay? We need to have food to eat. We need to have clothes to wear and a place to live, So this not too extreme, lavish way, at the same time, not so kind of ascetic life, you see. So Buddha's teaching is that we should have a life is not so ascetic. Ascetic is not the purpose of the practice. The practice is to purify the mind, to tame the mind with the loving kindness, compassion, bodhicitta. Okay, so there's the middle way, not too much distraction, and not too ascetic life, hardship, so in between, make your life very comfortable, peaceful, yourself. And then from the viewpoint, so there's called Tatta, is a eternalist, and the Cheta nihilist, the mind free from these two, nihilist and eternalist, because there's no anything that lives permanently. Or neither is nothing is kind of disconnect, like say appearance, you see things appearance. That very nature of the appearance is emptiness. That very nature of the emptiness is also within in the appearance. So this neither nihilist nor eternalist. So that's the middle path. So all the way towards enlightenment, there's nothing to attach, there's nothing to hate as something that existed. At the same time, there's nothing is non-exist, okay, to get rid of, So we take care of our karma. Whatever karma we create, from that manifests all the result. So we take care of all the karma, the not involved in the non-virtue, like 10 non-virtue, and engage in the 10 virtues. So these are when you go to the Mahamudra or Madhyamika system of the middle way. Okay, so both in the relative state and the absolute state, how it makes the middle way. Okay. Very good to see you.
There isn't anyone else left on Zoom with their hand raised, so.
So there's no one care. Now everything's good? Okay. So please feel now joyful, be happy yourself, appreciate. Your every day is good to appreciate yourself. I'm so fortunate. It's all up to me. So I have to make it happen. I have all the opportunities. I have the Buddha nature as everyone else have this. And then the Dharma is most precious in the life. Rejoice. And with this, we'll say a few dedication prayers. First, please breathe in, inhale, expand your chest and stomach, and exhale all the stress. Then reflect today, how the day was. You appreciate that today the day was so precious. All these Dharma teachings, that what Buddha gave is not just as a religion, but as a method to free from suffering, and to bring peace and happiness in our life. And it is in my hand. Nobody can control this. And I have the opportunity. And I have the ability to do this. So I'm so fortunate. Now I go forward, and I will make the difference in the world. I will make the contribution. Even 1%, even 2%, I will be useful. So with this mind, we say the dedication prayers. Please open page, I think it's 35. Okay, we read together. Glorious, holy, venerable, precious, kind, good in lineage Dharmas, divine assemblies of Yidams, assemblies of Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, yogins, yoginis, and akinis, dwelling in the 10th direction. Please hear my prayer. Let the virtues collected at the 3 times by myself, all sentient beings in samsara and nirvana, and the innate root of virtue, not reserved in 8 worldly concern, the 4 causes of samsara, or rebirth as a Sharavaka or particular Buddha. May all mother sentient beings, especially those enemies who hate me and mine, obstacles who harm, misleading Maras, and the hordes of demons, experience happiness, be separated from suffering, and swiftly attain unsurpassed, perfect, complete, and precious Buddhahood. By the power of this vast root of virtue, may I benefit all beings through my body, speech, and mind. May the vision to desire, hatred, ignorance, arrogance, and jealousy not arise in my mind. May the attachment in pain, reputation, wealth, and concern for Islam not arise for even a moment. May my mind stream be moistened by loving kindness, compassion, and bodhicitta. And through that, may I become a spiritual master with good qualities equal to the infinite of space. May I gain supreme attainment of Mahamudra in this very life. May the torment of suffering not arise even at the time of my death. May I not die with the negative thoughts. May I not die confused by wrong view. May I not experience an untimely death. May I die joyfully and happily in the great luminosity of the mind as such, and pervading clarity of Dharmata. May I, in any case, gain the supreme attainment of the Mahamudra, or at the time of death in the Bhagavad. By the virtues collected in the 3 times by myself, all beings in samsara and nirvana, and by the innate root of virtue, May all sentient beings quickly attain unsurpassed, perfect, complete, precious enlightenment. May the teachings of great Gampopa Ranashiri, who is good Lord of the Dharma, Master of interdependence, continue and increase through study, practice, and contemplation and meditation until the end of samsara. Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you, Rinpoche.
Yes, wonderful.
You're all unmuted if you want.
Thank you, Rinpoche.
Yeah.
Thank you, Rinpoche. So wonderful.
Thank you,
Wonderful to
Rinpoche.
see you.
Thank you.
you.
Thank you, organizers, for solving
Yeah.
all problems.
Yes.
Thank
the
you,
Thank you,
organizers-
Amanda.
Thank you,
the
Rinpoche.
organizer
Thank
organized
you,
so well.
Khenchen.
Yes.
Thank you,
Very
everybody. Thank you, Khenchen.
Everyone.
Thank you so much,
We have-
Rinpoche.
Thank
we have
you.
been in Singapore as well.
Thank you, Rinpoche.
Stella.
Thank you.
Thank
See
you.
you, Rinpoche.
Thank you.
And see you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Hasta mañana.
Thank you. Gracias, Khenchen. Hasta mañana.